another beautiful Thursday evening where we're here to report on yet another federal agent raid on a gun shop here in the city square, where, you guessed it, they have found even more. Oh, hold on. This just in. Breaking news on a protest going down on by the City Hall, where live Jalapeno is reporting on the scene. Hal, what's going on down there?
Group of Afro-Colombian protesters who have been displaced from their homes. Under Colombia Law 70, they were promised this land reserved, but due to drug cartel violence and overproduction of natural resources by multinational companies, they have been driven away from their homes. One of the protesters today, she's a young Afro-Colombian hip-hop artist. Her name is Gloria Martinez. Her music speaks directly about the oppression of the Afro-Colombians. Gloria?
Yes, Hal. I'm here with many of my fans who comprise of young Afro-Colombians, and they are here in protest against the Colombian government oppression. And my role in this is they go to my music for lyrics for inspiration.
What are the main focal points of your music?
Well, some hip-hop artists focus directly going against the Colombian government, but my lyrics are all about just emphasizing the heritage of Afro-Colombians, and it's teaching young and old Afro-Colombians to be proud of who they are, and that we need to fight against the government in order to get what we were promised in Law 70 and still haven't acquired.
Well, that sounds great, Gloria. Good luck with your cause.
Thank you, Hal.
Now I'm going to go to the crowd and look for another protester to speak to. Senora? Hello? What is your name?
Rosa Rodriguez.
Hi, Rosa. Are you here on behalf of yourself or an organization?
An organization. I'm part of the Fuende Mujeres women's organization.
Can you explain what the Funde Mujeres organization is about?
Yeah, we have two main goals. The first is to help women get jobs, because there are many Afro-Colombian women who are single mothers and don't have enough money to raise their kids. Our second goal is to find what it means to be an Afro-Colombian woman. It's harder for us more than anybody to get rights. Did you know that many women helped contribute to the process that led to Law 70? But when we brought up the issue of gender, other Afro-Colombians didn't want to address it. They thought it would weaken the ethnic argument for equality.
And what do you think your organization will accomplish by being here today?
Well, we're hoping to get our law back that was promised to us in Law 70, but we also want to make people aware of the struggles for Afro-Colombian women.
Thank you.
Wow, this is all very informative, Hal. What else have you been observing down there?
Well, Bill, Gloria Martinez, the young hip-hop artist that I interviewed earlier, gave a free concert, and that has caused the crowd to grow rather large.
Really? Now, what do you think are some of the other causes of the protest?
Well, Bill, about 80% of the Afro-Colombians here are in extreme poverty conditions, and many of the ones that are working work for less than the national average wage. So I believe this is driving some of the anger, and it's driving the crowd to get larger.
Now, where do you think all of these displaced people are coming from?
Many of the protesters here today are coming from the Choco department in Colombia. It's a department that is 85% Afro-Colombian, and it suffers from the lowest development and the lowest wages in all of Colombia.
Thank you so much, Hal. That was very informative. Today, here in the studio with us, we have Paula Marcela Moreno Zapata, who is a Colombian professor, engineer, and former minister of the culture of Colombia. Professor Zapata, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Great. First off, can you give us a brief history of just some of the Afro-Colombian struggle in the country?
Yes, well, Afro-Colombians have experienced a great lack of recognition, racism, and exclusion in the country. Within the past couple of decades, though, there has been a large civil rights movement that has led to the creation of Law 70.
And can you just give us an explanation of what Law 70 is?
Yes, Law 70 was passed in 1993 and is one of the biggest accomplishments of the civil rights movement. It states that the Colombian government must guarantee the protection of Afro-Colombian ancestral land rights, invest in their economic development, and protect their cultural identity and rights.
Now, how has it helped their situation there?
It has helped a lot. Afro-Colombians, especially women, have become more involved in politics, like Piedad Cordoba and myself. And it also has led to the United States giving aid, but also the Colombian government has given about $2 billion to aid in the construction of homes and help the poverty situation.
But to my understanding, there's also been some negative complications with the law, right?
Yes, there has. For example, the community councils that oversee the protection of their property and cultural rights have faced threats, harassment, and assassination attempts from opposition. Nevertheless, the Afro-Colombian community will continue to fight for our rights, and we will not be invisible anymore.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
From the start of the slave trade here in Colombia, African traditions and religious beliefs were, in the eyes of the Catholic captors, an abomination that was oftentimes equivalent with devil worship. This caused the Catholics to present a view during this period that the African Americans were really just witches and sorcerers and really servants of the devil. And because of this mindset, African religion was cast aside during this time period, and a bias was formed against their beliefs that would really last for years to come and end up having effect on the way we even view African American religion to this day. At that time of the Inquisition, the Tribunal of Cartagena here in Colombia, created by the Catholic Church, was a council that was used to convict and punish people during this time period of the Inquisition. The tribunal focused mostly on convicting people from Africa that oftentimes had little to no contact with Catholic religion at all. To quote members involved in this council at Cartagena, they believe that there is an urgent need to separate these slaves' irreparable excesses of incorrigible and evil inclinations and finally perverse customs, all expressions that convey precisely of their sins. As you can see, this period of the Inquisition marked an extermination of much of the African American religions that originated in Africa that were brought here to Colombia. For more information on the history of the Inquisition or any of the other things on this news broadcast, you can refer to col.news.com/Afro-Colombian. For more on the riot update, be sure to tune in tomorrow. This is Bill Board signing off with COL News. Stay classy, Colombia.